So I'm 25 years old, and just like everybody else, I am literally trying to figure out how to create more independence for myself. And realizing that being just creative is just not going to cut it. And it's a sad realization, especially if no one's really told you. It's a necessary journey that one needs to take on their own. I've just realized that, just realized, but I'm accepting that, and it's part of growing up. I need stability, and I need, money is, inevitable. And I just wanted to share something that I kind of noticed about myself. And maybe it could be something that could help you too. So the truth is that the past month, so I'm a freelancer, past month has been tough. I'm doing my best. I'm starting up a video production company. But this month I've literally nearly hit zero. I was worrying if I was gonna hit zero. But as always, life comes in and kind of saves you, and I got paid a decent amount, and literally my emotions went from relief and then excitement to anxiety really quickly. And I don't know if you go through this, but I'm money comes through, I'm separating it into different pots, and I'm excited, and then all of a sudden I feel sad because I realize just how little we actually have to play and to, I guess, have fun. And I realized that it actually is, it made me feel like my freedom felt a lot smaller. And I was wondering what is that? What is that feeling that I'm getting around money? Is it part of my past? Is it part of my creativity? What is that? And I feel like as a creative, it just feels very suffocating. And so I was just scrolling today, actually. I was just scrolling on YouTube. And then I bumped into this YouTube video, and it was really eye-opening video. And at the bottom of the video, it had a worksheet that you could fill out and kind of understand the psychology behind your money habits, right? And as a creative person, I was like, okay, right, let's just see what this is all about. Let me really give myself time to kind of diagnose this, because I have the time to do it, and why not? And so I answered the questions. There was a bunch of different questions. I answered the questions, and I did it using the voice to text function. And it was asking questions like, what are your fears around money? How was money for you growing up? Why, what are your biggest fears? And all of these different types of questions. And it felt like it was reframing it in different ways, but different answers were coming out each time I was doing it and saying it. And I was just there, literally talking like this, as I am now, voice to text like that. And so it was interesting, just feeling like I could just talk unfiltered and just to get everything that I was feeling without any judgment. And to do so was quite cathartic. And then what I did, which I took another step further, was take that, Apple Notes, question format, and put it into ChatGPT, and I allowed it to just absolutely just reflect back to me everything that I was saying, and to see if it could recognize any patterns in what I was saying in terms of my finances and how I relate to them. And well, the things that it came back to me about was very fascinating. So, you know, I kind of want to do this again. Okay. So one of the patterns that I saw was that I actually oscillate between hoarding and splurging. And it was interesting kind of like analyzing like my family history. I feel like a lot of Afro-Caribbean families struggle with this, but like this hoarding and buying and kind of emotional buying and feeling like the more I get, the more I feel stable, the more abundant I feel, but it is an illusion. And I know that I kind of swing on the other side of that in a way, because I try to not be like, I guess, be like those things that I see in my family, and try and like adopt a different way of seeing it. It's probably literally going polar opposite, and ended up not buying anything because I feel like I'm not worthy of that, or like I don't have enough space, you know, bearing in mind I also still live at home. I don't have enough space, I don't have enough like room to kind of like do that. And, you know, like, let me practice minimalism, you know? And so what I end up doing is actually splurging and spending a lot of money on like things that like gear, like cameras, so I'm into video, like cameras and lighting gear and just things, courses and things that I feel like might move the needle, but I know I shouldn't be making that purchase right now, you know. And I know a lot of like creative people feel this way. But the biggest insight that I got, which was pretty interesting, I realized that I prefer to spend my money than distributing it, which was interesting. And what I mean by distributing, you know, when you get your money, you know, I've done my, you know, I'm actively learning more about money and trying to, as I'm on this pursuit of financial independence as a creative person. But, you know, like when I'm going through and splitting my money into different bank accounts or pots, I find myself seeing what is revealed is literally my limits, you know. So that lump sum money that I did have felt really nice, and then when I'm distributing it, I'm like, whoa. Or paying off things, paying off bills, I'm like, whoa, I actually have way less to play with. And that feels like I'm trapped. It feels like I don't have freedom, and that it is so easy with that mentality to go, fuck, F it. Let me just go and like splurge on X, Y, and Z. At least I'm not buying lots of mini things, like lots of material items. I'm buying one quality thing and I'm justifying myself in that way, but realistically I'm not giving myself, my future self, any kind of like leeway or safety or comfort, and that's a lot of where the anxiety comes from. So, you know, it's interesting. I'm putting this here so that I'm documenting it for myself as well, and also if anyone else is feeling the same way. But yeah, so yeah, it's like the big purchases give me like the short-term relief, like, oh, like I got that thing, I feel on top of the world. And then after that, it's actually a damage to my long-term cash flow. So like one way in which, you know, shout out to ChatGPT, but one way in which it helped me realize, and this is how you can literally use AI to kind of help see gaps in or think patterns that you might not have necessarily realized before. It kind of described it as a playground. You know, the child feels safe in the playground because there's fences around it. And those fences are a means of comfort for the child, because they are able to just go off and play and explore and have fun and make friends and fall and cry and laugh and mainly to have fun and play, right? I feel like we need that. Even as a creative person, you need that. You need that sense of being a child, right? And having the safety, the environment in order to do that. And we need that with our finances. You know, I found out that I needed a container in which I can feel safe with my finances, right? To allow me to, you know, have fun, you know, having that financial stability, or creating the playground in a sense for me to be to play. It allows me to actually have more freedom. And, you know, even though it may seem restrictive, that fence around the child, right, in the playground, it's actually giving that person, that child, more urgent agency to be free. And that's kind of how I need to see my finances. You know, I need to kind of see money as a container, not as an escape. And yeah, I feel like more creative people need containers for their income, and for their money and how they manage it. There needs to be safe parameters in which for that to live, so that creative can flourish. You know, if they need to, you know, go and, you know, live somewhere specific, they have the urgent agency to do that. They've practiced confining themselves in different areas of their you know, finances, so that they can give freedom to other parts. And that I need to see money more as a silent guardian, right? More than freedom itself. Like, because trust me, you don't want too much freedom. Like, not even with your money, like, because then it will just literally, it's like, it will just slip through your fingers, right? It's a guardian, yeah? And I feel like I need to see money less as this harking thing, but more so as something that is silent, guarding, protecting. How do I become that inner guardian for myself, you know, especially as I'm looking to leave my house and leave my home and kind of develop and you know, like, it's a unique journey, but it's mine nonetheless, and it might resonate with you. So I'm learning that I need to hold my future. I need to reduce my anxiety, you know, through these systems, and that all of that can help protect my creative energy, because then I'm not functioning from a place of scarcity, but I'm functioning from a place of abundance. And it's not about being boring. It's about creating safety, to create freely, and to create from abundance. So, like, the biggest takeaway is that, like, create that playground in all aspects of your life. Become like a child again, but also honor the other part. You know, put systems in place so that you can be that child. You know, put a fence around your finances so you can be that child. Give yourself the right environment for you to do that painting, the space, the quiet, the saying no in your calendar to be able to do that. All of these things are kind of like me. I'm like reflecting back to myself this, but I know it might be of use to someone. So yeah, I'm still learning, and honestly, this is just something I thought I wanted to share. And that's literally it. I put the worksheet down below if it's something you're interested in doing for yourself, and I'll amend it kind of with the steps that I took to get a very profound response in recognizing my own patterns and generational trauma with money, and how I'm taking the steps forward. So yeah, that's just what I'm sharing, and yeah, have a good one. Peace.